Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Ted Ings. We are in beautiful Albany, New York for our fourth pop-up event. We're with the service advisors of DePaula. Everybody, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Tom, I see that you've got your body armor on, your lanyard. Tell us a little bit about that.
This is what our body armor is about. It's about our walk around. You'll see that we have a sprinkling of our writers from our different stores, which is a positive thing, and we'll talk to each and every one of them. But this is our body armor, Ted, and you keep your lanyard on and you keep your name tag on because why do we have the name tag on here? Because the normal human being can't understand your name, can't remember your name. That's why we use it. That's why we came up with that. So they remember your name.
Everybody, if you would, starting with John, introduce yourself and which dealership you're at.
My name is John Elmendorf. I'm the light-duty, heavy-duty truck manager at DePaula Ford.
Chuck Richardson. I work at DePaula Chevrolet as a service advisor, main shop.
Hi, I'm Lisa Dugan. I'm service advisor for DePaula Mazda.
And I'm Louis Correa. I'm with DePaula Ford, and I'm a quick loop service advisor.
Everybody, this morning at 6:45 a.m., I was on the service drive with our team, and I couldn't help but notice that at each of your locations, you're doing a service huddle. I want to ask you a little bit about that because we don't see that commonly at most dealerships in terms of the communication. John, talk to us a little bit about that. Why does DePaula do a service huddle every morning before the doors open?
Brings the whole team together. It lets us talk about some things that happened the day before. If we need help and assistance with anything, just gets everybody to get together.
Super. Chuck?
Gets everybody pumped up for the day, and that we're here if we have any issues coming up that we can get the management team involved with it rather than waiting for the person to get there at the end of the beginning of the day.
And I saw that you were doing a walk around this morning as well on the drive.
Yes.
Do you do that every morning as part of the huddle? Somebody does a walk around?
Every morning, yes.
Wow. Super. I love it. Lisa, why the service huddle?
I think it brings everyone together. Yeah, everybody's on the same page. They know what's going to happen today. Again, if there's any issues from the day before, we get them all resolved.
Sure. And, in the morning before the doors open, that's probably maybe one of the only times that everybody could even consider getting
Correct. Yep, everybody's there. Everybody's pumped and ready to go.
Super. Great way to start your day.
Yes, sir.
Louis, what are your thoughts about that service huddle?
I love it. Just brings the team together and gets us ready for the day.
Super. Tom, what was the thinking about that, bringing the service huddle and doing...
Years ago, why we created it, to bring everybody in on time. And we spoke about it today. It starts at 6:45. It's got to be regimented, so when the doors open, everybody has to be ready at their positions. At their positions is a critical point. And you can talk about everything. Do you have the walk around every morning? You're going to do it, but you're also going to talk about any CSI concerns you had the day before, any whiteboard concerns that you had from the day before, and we'll talk about the whiteboard shortly. But that's different stuff that we do, and that's what we developed many, many years ago, and it just works. It just works. Gets everybody there on time.
Lisa, I also overheard Dennis Walter, when I was over at the Chevrolet dealership, talking about some of the metrics and letting us know where we were on yesterday's business and what to look for today. What's the purpose of that and doing that so early in the morning as well?
I think it's just everybody's all there. They're all focused and just ready to go. Everybody's had their coffee. So, yeah, I think it just keeps us all together.
And why that walk around, John? Why practice that in the morning before the customers come in? Because I noticed once the garage doors open, you got a rush of vehicles coming through. Why practice that every day?
So that you're ready to go. We've already done it a bunch of times in the morning, and it's the same throughout the day, same process from start to finish.
And I noticed that everybody has their lanyards on today. Is that part of the process here?
Yeah, check the tires with the customer, walk around, touch all wiper blades, see any damage, any concern that we might see the customer might not know of. We're just going to let them know what we see visually.
Super. And Chuck, is process a big part of what the DePaula Automotive Group does here out on the service drive?
Absolutely. If you're doing the same thing every time, it's a good thing with the customers too.
Yeah.
They love it.
Louis, do the customers like the consistency that you do here when I know they've probably grown to expect the fact that you're going to be looking at the tires, going to be popping the hood, you're going to be putting the lights on. Do they like the consistency part?
They actually love all that. It actually allows us to plant a seed as to what the customer is looking forward to getting done on the vehicle. So it's very helpful for us.
Wow. Louis, how long have you been a service advisor?
Probably about 9 months. and I love it. Successful. I enjoy helping my customers, so our customers, because we are a team. So,
And Tom speaks very highly of you, of all of you. He mentioned you in particular, you know, having excelled on the service drive as well.
Tom started in the lane, and he has one of the top CSIs of the company, and he worked the lane and worked our customers and greeted them. And he grew into the position. It's all about the career paths. Anybody can do that, to come into this business and learn that career path. You learn the service lane, you learn the walk around, you learn what the process is, you learn what your KPIs are, you learn about the huddle. But Lewis excelled at that, like everyone else. But the other piece that we have is by why we do the walk around is it sets the seed for our videos, our iService and our True videos. So it sets the seed so they know, hey, I know my cabin air filter might be, well, the technician's telling me that, or my tires are off. It's all the transparency, as we continually talk about here with our whole group. How transparent are we? And that customer looks for that video because they have that rapport they built. It takes a couple minutes to do the walk around as we do, but it's so critical to do that.
Tom mentions that word, John, transparency. And you know what? I never heard that word until just a few years ago in service and parts, but it's come to service and parts, and customers like that transparency. Talk to us about the video that the customer gets from the technician. Why do that, and why is that so important, and why is that well received by the customer?
Well, it gives the technician an opportunity to show the customer exactly what they have going on underneath the vehicle that they don't normally see on a day-to-day, and it just builds trust throughout the process.
Wow. And you do that with every customer, every
Yes.
time the customers come in?
Yes.
Wow. Chuck, your thoughts on the video and on the transparency?
I get a lot of positive feedback from the customers on the video, because they don't, like John said, you don't get to see underneath the vehicle a lot. In Northeast, they're very tough on a vehicle, so they don't get to see that they have rusted bolts and everything underneath the vehicle. And they can actually see, if you go to an average person, they don't know what a ball joint is, or a tie rod end, or a lower control arm, where you can show them everything and say, this is what we have going on. I get a lot, like I said, a lot of positive feedback from the customer. They love it.
Lisa, I asked you about it a little bit earlier today before we got started. Talk to us about the transparency. Why is that so important, the video?
It's all about trust. It's all about trust. If the client does not trust you, they are not going to buy anything from you. So I can tell them that they need a microfilter, but if the technician is actually showing them that they need a microfilter, it just builds all the trust you can ever imagine.
And I would assume then it makes the sale go a lot easier.
Correct. Because they don't know what happens behind the wall.
That's right. Yeah. Super. Lewis, your thoughts on the video?
the work sells for itself.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had customers come and ask just to make sure that we do a video for them because they enjoy watching the whole process that the technician is going through. You know, it's like they love it. So it just helps us. It helps them, you know, see that we're not just trying to take their money. They can see exactly what their vehicles need.
And Louis, earlier today, we had the leadership here at DePaula talking about that career path that employees have who work at DePaula Automotive Group. So you're living proof of that. You started off, did Tom say, as a greeter on the service drive?
Shuttle driver, from shuttle driver to lane to loaners, then became loaner manager, and over to being a service writer. And I love it. So, top of the team. He builds team, so.
Yes, I love it. And Tom, you've got a great team, and that career path is evident as we meet your people here at DePaula.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love it. So everybody, the writers here, probably one of the most important positions in all of dealership here at DePaula Automotive Group. We're in Albany, New York. Stay with us. We have a lot more coming up at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We're here at the 4th pop-up event.